Hey, fun fans! We're giving away a Devastator 3 keyboard and mouse combo courtesy of Cooler Master on YouTube for this month of June. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to Fun's YouTube channel and leave a comment on which state or region you think will be the next to go to districts. You can enter once per upload, and we'll pick a winner near the end of June.
So starting off today's recap, we're going to be looking at off seasons from this past month. And one of the ones that I'm excited to talk about is the Connecticut State Championship from my home state of Connecticut. So going back, May 12th is when we had, the Connecticut State Championship going on with 25 teams. There were some huge notable ones that were huge powerhouses this year in New England: 176, 177, of course, 195, 230, 558, and 2168. Not surprisingly for this season, it would be 176 aces high, seeding in first, and quickly picking up Curie Division champions 195 and 3182 Athena's Warriors. The number one alliance cruised through the quarters and semifinals to face off against the number two seed of 230, 177, and 178, a UTC powerhouse team. So finals one were relatively close until about halfway through the match when the Red Alliance started to take off and would take finals one 380 to 303. Finals two saw a different tune with the Blue Alliance striking quickly with 177 and 230 outscoring 195 on the scale. The Red Alliance would take the scale back, but with too little time, sending it to a third match with 398 to a 359 Blue Alliance victory. Match three was pretty close, with 3182 guarding the red fence cubes and 176 focusing on the blue switch. Red would start to pull away with about 80 seconds left and secure the championship with a 362 to 246 victory. Sky, would you like to take the Texas State Championships?
All right, next up, we will probably see the last time an off-season event championship was held in Texas, as they're moving to districts next season. 32 teams would start to preview the awesome power that comes out of Texas, including 118, 148, 624, 1296, 1477, 2468, 3005, 3310, 4587, and more. Robotics would seed first and look to get some redemption from championships after going down in the Newton finals and pick up their Champs Alliance partners 3310 Blackhawk Robotics and 5427 Steel Talons out of Katy, Texas. Not too much of a surprise for the number one alliance as they handedly advanced to the finals where they would face off against the number three seed of 148, 3005, and 4639, who beat the number two seed in three matches in the semis. Unfortunately for the world champion 148 and their alliance, they could just not match the firepower of the number one alliance. And while still putting up a good fight, the number one alliance would take the Texas State Championship in two matches with scores of 464 to 282 and 376 to 251. Tyler, what was happening up in the Northland?
Sky, I just want to say good job because I tried to mess with Sky in the script there, and I put 2468, and he did really well of catching that. So I'm sure they appreciate that on there.
That's a classic Tyler move.
Hey, I want to bring in our producer Nick real quick. Just talk about the Texas State Championship, and he's on 148. So Nick, nothing, I guess, in regards to the matches themselves, but with Texas going to districts next year, do you think there's still going to be an off-season event like that, or are they just going to rely on some of the other events in the area? We'll see if we can get his mic going.
There we go.
I put him on the spot.
I'm good.
All
right. We'll probably see some more of the prominent Texas off-season events still happening, like TRI, TRR, Remix. They are incorporating the state championship into the district championship next year. So those are both happening simultaneously at the same events, just with the point system. So, yeah, it'll be nice to have one less event that we need to go to in the off-season that we don't necessarily need to go to, if that makes sense.
Yeah. What is like the seriousness of this event? Is it taken like it is a true state championship, or is it kind of more like an IRI where there's some teams who really do try and then some teams who just, they're doing it to train drivers next season, that sort of thing?
I would say it's pretty equivalent to IRI. There are some teams that do take it pretty seriously. Texas takes state championships very, very importantly. The trophy that you actually get for state championships is probably one of the coolest I've ever seen. which is nice. It's like a big, giant wooden pentagonal plaque, and it's pretty awesome. It actually puts the first ones to shame. But
that's not hard, but yeah.
It's a Texas
not
joke.
hard.
But yeah, like this year we brought a lot of rookies to the off-season event. They all did great. They all kind of figured out where they wanted to go. I think we only had like 2 or 3 seniors, and two of them were on the drive team. So
Okay.
we had a pretty light crew going into the event. So weren't shooting for anything awesome. I mean, we just came off a world championship win, so nothing beats that.
Absolutely. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it. So let's jump over to the Minnesota State Championships. And while it is difficult to talk deeply about an event where you actually have to pay to watch, yes, I did say that correctly. You have to pay to watch this event. And it's really hard to find any good archives of as well, too. So luckily, we did find a couple videos, none of them of the finals or anything like that. So we're going to brief on this a little bit, and we'll be talking about Minnesota later. Go ahead.
Could you explain, so how do you pay to watch this?
Yeah, so the way that Minnesota works is that I'll jump into this a little bit, I guess, but they are part of their state athletic association, which is awesome. Like, that's a great way to get recognized, become an official, part of the state athletic association. But as part of that, the webcast has to be done through their website and through the Minnesota High School League area. And you, because of that, they control who watches, essentially. So based on that, there's like no archive either or anything like that. I think you have to pay to get the archive as well, too.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's an unfortunate thing. But let's talk about the teams there. 36 teams from the land of 10,000 lakes. Some notables: 2052, 2169, 2175, 2220, 2502, 3130, and 4539 to name a few of these. An interesting thing about this tournament: only 4 alliances with 36 teams, so that really narrowed it down to the semis right away. Not really too much of a surprise. 5172, the Gators securing the number 1 seed with a 3.55 rank score average. Selecting the number 2 seed, 4539, Chaotic Robotics, who had an amazing season, 2 regional wins, plus number 1 seed at the championship event. They'd round off and pick 6175 Mystery Machine, and number 1 alliance would handily take this event, defeating the number 2 alliance at 2052, 3130, and 2491 with scores of 402 to 347 and 423 to 301. But yeah, Mike, it's kind of weird. I've given Michigan so much crap for their potato feeds for so long, and thankfully I heard they're moving to Twitch next year. I hope to God that's the case. But man, like, come on. I mean, people do want to watch like the Minnesota championships, on here. There are some people I assume that want to watch it, and parents want to watch it. And it's weird to have to pay for a first event when all the other ones are always free. So
it's, I guess, really foreign to us. I mean, maybe those in Minnesota just, feel like, since it is this, the state sports league, that's just how it's done there. Maybe for them, for residents of Minnesota, it's not, but for us on the outside, it just is very, very foreign, to hear that.
I even think it's so strange that their high school athletics is pay to watch. Like, I don't know, it just seems very weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who knows how the finances work for that, I guess. But I don't know. You think there'd be some licensing you could purchase for that, and it might be monumental in the cost to do that too. So who knows? Yeah. So, all right. But with that said, we'll move on. Sky, hey man, your team's right on the border. Any thoughts on some of the teams that competed at the Minnesota Championships, since you get to interact with them a lot?
Yeah. Well, I've done. I think maybe we've all done 4 alliance events, and they're a lot of fun to keep a smaller number of teams and keep it highly competitive. But just kind of an interesting note, the number 1 alliance there was actually the same number 1 alliance that won in Great Northern. So they had some history together. I don't know. I mean, there's always the teams that are your best friends you hope do well, and like I always hope Duluth East does well, but didn't seem to work out this time around.
Dude, somebody's saying in chat, Ginger Power, and somebody's confirming that it's $30 to watch.
He says he can't watch the win from 2013. So just to watch the archive from 5 years ago is $30.
Oh my God.
That's insane. Who's in charge of that?
The Minnesota State Championship, apparently.
Wow.
$10.95 to stream. What is this? Freaking pay-per-view going on?
It is.
It is pay-per-view. That's exactly what it is.
Tyler, we're missing the boat here.
Oh my God. Hey, come. Pay $10.95, please. You know? That would be amazing. So
Yeah. And
you
then
can do that with your
question,
tier 2 sub.
with so many teams in Minnesota, did only 36 apply, or is this like a apply?
No,
and
they use like a Scott.
It's a point. It's a point system.
okay,
Yeah.
so it's like an invitation kind of based on.
Yeah, it's invitation based on points.
It's only based on your first event, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with it, but regional chairman's wins are a shoe-in, and then it's a point system. Yeah, past
Gotcha.
that.
Yeah, somebody correct. They are saying it's district points, but I think it's only off the first one, so somebody
That's
knows.
really interesting.
Yeah, it's something like that. Which further goes to make the Chief Delphi thread discussion more interesting, right?
I love this comment by Ultra Corgi. I could buy a full meal at an FRC venue concessions for $30.
I love it.
A whole meal.
All right, Mike, let's move on to the WoW District champs.
Dude, this is great. I missed you guys. All right, so continuing championships, let's talk about the WoW District Championship. So if you're not familiar with WoW, it's the Western Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia area. So 28 teams, including 48, 291, 379, 40, 28, and more, all prepared for victory there. Securing the number 1 spot was 379, the RoboCats, and they selected the number 2 seed of 4028, the Beak Squad, as well as 3324, the Metrobots, and 3010, the Red Plague. Number 1 Alliance stumbled in the semifinals, losing match 2 against the number 4 seed, but they would recover to advance to the finals to face off against the number 3 seed of 4611, 2252, 48, and 6936. The number 1 Red Alliance was able to hold on with superior firepower and took the championship in 2 matches with scores of 423 to 242 and 434 to 271. So that is WoW. Justin, let's move on to Battlecry.
Yeah, and I would start off here by saying a big thank you to Battlecry for uploading their videos to the Blue Lions. So rare that it seems that off-season events are getting those videos uploaded. So
They're the only one of the 5 recovering.
yeah, and like our local event, Ruckus, hasn't been great about it. It is pretty rare. So huge props to them for that. But Battlecry is an awesome East Coast event with 60 teams competing. Sure to have an eye out for those top tier teams: 195, 319, 694, and 2168, and a very deep field of other competitors. So perhaps not a huge surprise that 195, the Cyber Knights, would seed first with a 3.37 average ranking score. They would assemble a powerhouse alliance of 319, Big Bad Bob, and the second robot of 4041. Number team 9985.
Yeah, so that it's 4041's robot, but their second robot. Yeah.
The old second robot.
Yep.
So the playoffs, not really close, as you might expect, with the number 1 Red Alliance winning 6 matches straight by an average score of 178. So really not close. Against the number 2 Alliance of 3314, 694, and 1073, with the final score being 439 to 292 and 378 to 256. So Christine, do you have any thoughts on that event, kind of localish to you?
Yeah, so I didn't go this year, but it is like the premier off-season event in New England, and the registration fills up within minutes. So every year it's done really well, and that's the reason why those videos
Did
are.
Neutrons go?
We did not. Neutrons didn't go. It was right after Champs this year. So, and it's a 2-day event, so it's a lot of fun. Besides the competition itself, but the cool thing is we get a lot of teams from New York, or even down in Mar will come up to Battlecry, and it's a lot of fun. So it wasn't surprising the alliance that won. But Battlecry is usually a place where teams that didn't necessarily qualify for district champs or for championships will really kind of come back and, shine a bit. So it was pretty cool to see some of the teams that weren't necessarily premier New England teams were up there in some of the good alliances. And they also do that insane double elimination thing, which I can still never understand, but it gives everybody a chance to kind of play during elimination.
Can you explain that a little bit more?
No, everybody plays, and you just keep playing and playing and playing and playing, and then you sometimes don't play. That's of it. But it's a really well-run event. The people that run Battlecry also run the WPI district event, and they help out with planning district championships and other things. And a lot of them work with RSN, so they really have their shit together there. And you can definitely tell because teams have a great time. So Battlecry is pretty awesome. If you have the chance to go, you should definitely go.
So it was called Battle Cry 19. Are they actually on their 19th year of doing this?
Yeah. I actually
crap.
I had my 16th birthday on Battle Cry the year that I turned 16. So it's one of the deep rooted New England events. It's not the oldest, but it's up there. And every year it just gets better and better and better. So
cool. Wait, you're 35?
No.
Oh, isn't it six? Wait, isn't that 19 years?
You're 30. That was only if it was the first year.
Is it 19 plus 16, 35?
Yeah, but they didn't. That doesn't mean year one was on her 16th birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. God, I'm not that old.
Sorry.
Thanks, Tyler.
Actually, I am the oldest one here. Actually.
Yeah, and don't you forget that I'm not 35.
Jeez.
Bandwidth for First Updates Now is supported by The Blue Alliance. Keep up to date on all live and archived First Robotics events and team stats at thebluealliance.com. First Updates Now is brought to you by viewers like you. Fun relies on the generous support of our fans in order to continue to keep creating content. Please consider donating, giving bits, or subscribing. Subscribe for a few bucks a month or for free through Twitch Prime. And don't forget that our subscribers get 5x chance to win on all giveaways.